Megillah tells us that the Talmidim of Rav Shimon Yochai asked him a question. Lomu nischayvu seinei shel Yisrael kloya. Why did Klal Yisrael deserve to be annihilated? What did they do so terrible? So Rav Shimon Yochai says to his Talmidim, Emar atem, you tell me, what do you think? So they answered, the reason why they deserved to be destroyed, to be annihilated, because Nenu Misuda Shalosa Rosha, because they benefited from the banquet of that Rosha Achashverosh. So because they benefited from his Suda, from his banquet, his feast, therefore they deserved annihilation. So Rav Shimon Yochai says, if that's the case, it should be limited only to the Jews of Shushan. Why was the decree on the whole empire, on 127 provinces? Evidently, that's not the reason. So he says, I will explain to you why they deserve to be annihilated. Because Nebuchadnezzar, who was the Babylonian emperor, had made an image of himself, and all Jews bowed to that. Because they bowed, that's why they deserve to be annihilated. But the question is, the Suda of Achashverosh, Mordechai told him not to go. But of course, they didn't heed his warning, and they went. Now, first, why was Mordechai so adamantly opposed to them going to the Suda? Factually, the food was kosher, met all standards of kashrus. The wine was kosher wine. What's so terrible? The king is celebrating his assuming the throne, the Persian Empire. He asked them to come. He invited them. How could they not come? It would be a total disrespect. But Mordechai said, no, you shouldn't go. And the Talmidim understand that is sufficient reason that they deserve kloya, annihilation, is because they defied, they went against the word of the Godel Ador, of the leading Torah sage of the generation. The Gemara has difficulty. When did Achashverosh, when did he make his feast? B'shalosh shalosh l'molcha. It was the third year of his reign. A king is installed, is inaugurated. You celebrate the inauguration immediately. Why do you wait for the third year? So the Gemara explains that the Navi had said, when Klaus went into Golus, that after 70 years we're returning. We're going to return to Eretz Yisrael. We're going to rebuild the second Beis Hamikdash. Achashverosh had made a calculation that the 70 years were up and we were still there. So that meant that God had forsaken us and he reneged on his promise, which he had communicated to us through his Navi, through his prophet. Therefore, he waited for the third year, based on his calculation, that the 70 years were up. The previous king, Belshazzar, he miscalculated. And that's the reason why, when he benefited from the vessels of the Beis Hamikdash, he was found killed. But he says, he made a mistake, my calculation is accurate, and therefore he waited 3 years. Because 3 years, there's no question, the 70 years were up. So in essence, what was Achashverosh celebrating? He was celebrating Chil Hashem. He was celebrating that Hashem had gone back on his word. He reneged on his word. Therefore, Mordechai was opposed. How could you celebrate? How could you partake of a celebration, which a celebration is a Chil Hashem? The Jews said, but what are we supposed to do? The king invited us. The consequence, the reaction will be terrible. Mordechai said, under no circumstances, you should not go. But again, who participated in the Chil Hashem? Rashi B'choi said, that's Yehudei Shushan, the Jews of Shushan. But the rest of Klal Yisrael, they didn't. Why are they culpable? The answer is because Polchel L'Tzalmo, because they bowed to the image. So they said, so why weren't they liable for annihilation? Why didn't it actually take place? So that he said, because when they bowed, it's not that they believed that it was a deity, it was only Lefonim, it was only superficial. Therefore Hashem, when he issued the decree, it wasn't a final decree, it was contingent on many things, and therefore we merited the miracle of Purim.